Okay, let me load the game. Let me actually load the game. Right, last time last time. Oh, last time. That was sure fun. That was sure fun when we figured out that everybody's in danger and we're all gonna die. Yippee. Um, let me go ahead and I have to change the volume settings, but I have to figure out where did I put the volume settings? uh, was it in this folder? It was at 22.7. Okay. There we go. And then lock. Okay. And with that, we should be good. We should actually be good this time. Not if Kano has anything to say about it. Does Kano have anything to say about it? He's like, yeah, don't worry. We're gonna make sure that Shibuya is safe. And even though every time he seemingly does his job, everything goes wrong for everyone else. But yeah, sure. I think this needs to turn down a little bit more on my end. Hopefully the volume is okay. Let's... I don't know what we were doing before. And I don't know... Right. All of Shibuya is in danger. There's a virus that is leaked because Maria has the virus. Hitomi has the antiviral. Oopsie daisy. Achi has Hitomi. Kano is trying to stop it. Minorikawa got blown up, and he also received word that Toyama might be dead. I don't believe it, but we'll see. And then Osawa is... Oh, right. I forget his name. I forget his name. Tanaka. Tanaka is dead. And that's kind of messing up Osawa's plans to be like, oh, we can just get back to the laboratory because, you know, Tanaka has the second password. Oopsie daisy. Alright. With all that said, let's just hop into somebody's story. Let's choose Maria. I walk counter to the throng of people heading toward the scene of the explosion. The explosion happened in Shibuya-ku Jinan Ichome near the intersection of Koendori and Oregon Hill. There's a gun pressed against my back, leaving me no choice but to continue marching forward. I don't have time for this right now. There's something I need to do. My frantic sense of urgency grows and grows. Kanan. The only clue I have is that name. Other hazy snippets that have surfaced in my memory provide no answers. Please, just tell me, I murmur. Do you know who I am? When the man with the cane doesn't answer, I stop in my tracks. I'm going to start shouting, I warn him. Why haven't you done that already? If you want to find out who you are, then do as I say. Really? Surely we don't have to do this. The barrel of the gun jabs more forcefully into my back. Once we find Hitomi Osawa, you'll remember, whether you like it or not. Guess I have no choice but to keep moving then. Da 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 da. Are your memories really that precious to you? The man mutters as we start to move again. I'm taken aback by the question. Well, yes. I mean, isn't that pretty normal? There's a bit of a pause before he replies, his voice sad and distant. You're not going to remember just the good times, you know. What do you mean? I mean that sad and painful memories are going to resurface too. I guess I hadn't really thought about that. I mean, this is Tama comedy hours. Like, you don't understand. This will be fine. There's no such thing as pain. But still, whatever kind of memories they are, they're all a part of me. I'm the person I am now because of sorrow and pain, too. I want to remember. I want to remember who I am. The gunman directs me dispassionately along a series of quiet streets, side streets, blah blah blah. Right here. I stop at his words. In front of us is an old multi-tenant office building. We ride the elevator to the 8th floor, then use the emergency exit to take the stairs up to the rooftop. A cool breeze blows across my cheek. Sit down there. I do as he says, settling myself on the outdoor air conditioning unit. The man lowers his gun, but keeps it in hand. We'll wait here for a bit. She is so unbelievably casual about this. She's just like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever. Like, we'll see where this goes. Like, what's the worst that can happen? I get shot? What are you gonna do? Shoot me? For how long? He lets out a rueful chuckle. Guess we'll have to wait and see. I decide there's no point in trying to fight with him. For now, I have to hope he's telling the truth, and whatever is coming will help me get my memories back. If I don't know my past, how can I know what to do about this Kanan stuff, or anything else? I stare up at the sky as I wait for whatever this assassin is waiting for. The silence between us is suffocating. Finally, I can't take it any longer. Hey, so, I think this is yours. I hold out the notebook I picked up earlier. The man's surprise is plain on his face. Where did you get that? I saw the picture inside. He snatches the book out of my hand. Then he flips through it, looking sad. I'm afraid another agonizing silence is about to descend when he speaks at last. This is a picture of me and my childhood friends. Ooh, new track? Yeah, new track here. His voice is low and quiet. We were inseparable back when we were kids. The boy here, he liked to fiddle with machines. Always doing things like taking apart radios and whatnot and putting them back together. He was a total bookworm too, so he got picked on a lot. But I was always there to save him from the bullies. All of a sudden, the guy's in a sharing mood, I guess. I can feel his aura of murderous rage starting to abate. The girl here was the same age as us, but she felt more like a big sister. Whatever stupid things my other friend and I got up to, she was always willing to laugh it off. I decide... Why are there choices here? Why choice? I decide to stay quiet and keep listening. What was her name? I ask, curious to know more. So this was some sort of love triangle. Well, okay then. I guess I'm the nosy sort. Really tempted to say C, but let's go ahead and choose B. What was her name? I ask, curious to know more. Kotsune. We dated when we were in high school. Oh, wow. But I get the impression that from the picture that the other boy must have liked Kotone too, right? The gunman's eyes widened. You're very astute. We gotta get all the juicy tea. True. Just being a nosy hostage. Just like, hey, so what about your backstory? Can you tell me a little bit about that while you're pointing a gun at my face? Call it a woman's intuition, I say proudly. Then I ask the obvious follow-up. So what happened to you two? I dumped her. The man carefully slips the notebook into the pocket inside his jacket. How come? I ask. I felt it was for the best. He lets out a little chuckle, then stands up and brushes the dust off his pants. He looks strangely lonely. I hate this game, man. What is this? I got all of 3 seconds in, and it was just like, okay, cool. Alright, neat. That was a very emotional scene that was ruined by just a keep out, because I guess I have to do something else. I wonder if that character, we didn't get a name for the boy, but is it gonna be something like their characters that exist elsewhere? Like, are we ever gonna see them, or are they dead? Because that's the 2 ways this is gonna go. Either they're dead, or maybe they're gonna be somehow relevant to the story. Like, I don't know, the boy is gonna end up being Kano's father-in-law, that guy, when everything is said and done and they're sort of all grown up. With that said, I guess let's go ahead and jump to Osawa. I don't want to know how people feel. All I want to know is what viruses feel. I prefer viruses because they make no move to encroach on me from the other side of my microscope. They leave me free to let my thoughts wander as I wish. There's a lot of new music tracks, and while it may be true to say that I understand viruses, I will never be able to understand my fellow humans. I don't know them. I don't know a single fundamental thing about them. With Tanaka dead. Right. With Tanaka dead. Ooh, that's awkward. With Tanaka dead, trying to use the backup passwords for the fingerprint scanner had become a hopeless endeavor. The only remaining means of gaining entry to the storage area was to issue an emergency unlock request to the electronic lock manufacturer. Then let's do that. Let's do that immediately. And in order to do that, they needed approval from the 6 members of the board of directors. Returning to his study, Osawa called Makino's personal cell phone. What is it? Makino said gruffly as soon as he picked up. Osawa informed him of the situation, including Tanaka's death, and the fact that Maria was infected. The news left Makino at a loss for words. Please, Osawa begged. You need to hold an emergency board meeting. Makino was silent for a few moments. There's no way he would say no to this? I'm afraid I can't do that. Why? Why? All of Shibuya is in danger. Something about Osawa's plight really hits home. He loves his children, but he can't even prove to himself that he loves them. He doesn't know how he feels. Yeah. I think... How do I... Well, I can't say, I feel like I don't have the words, the capacity to say anything other than, it's really good. It's really good, but like, Osawa is a very introspective character, and I feel like it works really well. Like, his characterization is really well thought out, and I think it's very human as well. This idea of just like, sometimes I don't know how to talk to people or relate to people, or that sort of thing. So, why not? Are you just going to sit by and let my daughter die? Osawa raged. And not just her. If Maria goes symptomatic. That was still only an if, but Osawa was reluctant to put his fears into words. If she goes symptomatic, the Uwa virus will sweep through all of Tokyo. I realize that, Makino replied. But one of the board members is overseas on business. Really? So we didn't plan for this, I guess? Holding a meeting is nearly impossible because they're overseas. Despite the gravity of the situation, he sounded astoundingly nonchalant. We don't have like a backup person, password, anything, state of the entirety of Japan potentially is at risk? No? Okay. Osawa couldn't back down now. There must be some other option, like a web conference or something. Come on, haven't you heard of Zoom? No, I don't know what that is. That doesn't help us. That doesn't help us if we can't get in touch with them, Makino huffed. He went missing a few days ago in the middle of his business trip. Oh, great. Awesome. The head of Akoshi Pharmaceuticals' New York branch has been missing since April 25th, 9 p.m. local time. There have been no demands for a ransom, and so the New York Police Department is investigating the possibility of some other form of foul play. Great. Osawa was almost too appalled to be angry. That's the most ridiculous lie I've ever heard. Would you like to speak to my on-site contact if you don't believe me? It was like arguing with a child. Really? So, Osawa is saying that he's lying about that? I would believe it. It's obvious that the people that we're up against here have really thought out their plan to like a whole other level. It just happens to be very, very convenient that right now we can't get a hold of him, and we also can't do anything else about the situation. If Makino was deliberately working against him, he'd never know if this disappearance was real or not. In that case, can you please appoint a representative in his stead? Osawa pleaded. True, we should be able to do that. Selecting a representative is a complicated process. Even if we started right now, it would take until sometime tomorrow afternoon to complete. Tomorrow afternoon. By then, it would be too late for any of this to matter. Sir, you can't see how absurd the things you're saying are. Can't you see how absurd the things you're saying are? What would you have me do? Makino barked. These are the realities of corporate politics. I don't believe you. I understand, sir. You will do nothing for my daughter. That's what you're saying. That's not what I'm saying, Makino replied. Look, I'll see what I can do to appoint a representative more quickly. He hung up. His tone had suggested I can't say the word. That waiting for an appointee wouldn't be a terribly hopeful prospect. I have no more allies, Osawa thought. All I have left now are foes. That's not true. You have, Kajiwara. Look at me, it's me, Kajiwara. I still have that banana. Would you like the banana, or would you like me to cook again? It's like, no, gosh darn it, why are you like this? Okay, A or B. He couldn't count on anyone anymore. Osawa was just going to have to get the antiviral by himself. Still, he'd just have to take Makino at his word. Right now, that was his only course of action. B? Maybe? Perhaps. Maybe? Osawa sat down in front of his computer and quietly closed his eyes. If only I could just go to sleep and wake up tomorrow morning and find all this resolved. All I'm asking for is a miracle. But he knew reality would never be so kind. He could hold his eyes shut as long as he wanted, and it wouldn't make this hopeless situation go away. He felt the anxiety welling up inside him until it seemed like he was going to explode. Needing... Back to Aya Kamiki. Amazing. Needing a distraction from his helplessness, Osawa opened up AyaNet. He knew this was mere escapism. Like, Aya Kamiki would potentially die as well in this. Surely we must be more panicked by it. He knew there was mere escapism, but he couldn't just sit and do nothing while waiting for Makino to call back. He posted a new topic with the title, Aya Fortune Teller. I tried the Aya Fortune Teller. My results basically said I was a bad person who can't connect to the people around me. And you know what? That's exactly right. I'm only interested in my own little world. That's probably why my wife and my assistant at work got so fed up with me. It's the same with my 2 daughters. What sort of things are they interested in? Do they have a lot of friends? What are their aspirations for the future? I don't know any of those things. It never even occurred to me to find out. I'm such a terrible father. Aw. Aw. Osawa's fingers seized their tapping on the keyboard as he thought back to when Maria and Hitomi were younger. Are these actual 2 twins, or is it more like they flipped the image? I don't know. I think it would be very hard to find twins. That's what I'm thinking. Daddy! Daddy! The 2 girls would follow him around like a pair of puppies. Their father was their everything. That much was clear just by looking at their faces. He'd felt a ticklish giddiness at having his girls cling to him so. Aw. He'd never felt anything like it in his life. But there were many times when he also found it tiresome. It doesn't look flipped. Huh. Interesting. I'm when I'm done with the game, I'm so curious to look at like the cast list and see like, are Maria and Hitomi, because I don't want to necessarily know right now, but I want to know at the end of the game, are Maria and Hitomi 2 different actors? Did they just find a bunch of twins to act in this game? Different things like that. Girls that young with a bit of makeup and wardrobe, you can make anyone look like twins. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. They looked pretty similar to me, but that is true. I do see what you're saying. I do see your point. I am sick of being the person I am. There's nothing I can do about that, though. I'm sure it's far too late for me to change. He poured out all his negative emotions into his post. It felt like stream of consciousness drivel, but he didn't hesitate to write it down all the same. He wanted other people to know what a miserable excuse for a human being he was. At last, when he couldn't think of anything else to add, he posted his bitter confession to the forum. He was staring numbly at the monitor when he heard a furious shout from the next room. You have got to be kidding me. Oh. You have got to be kidding me. Oh my gosh, it's me, Kajiwara. It was Kajiwara, and Osawa had never heard him so angry. I don't really have an angry voice for this. It's just me, Kajiwara. Osawa headed into the living room and found Kajiwara embroiled in a vehement argument with the other detectives. I don't care what HQ's policy is. I will not just go quietly along with this. Kajiwara had already screamed himself red in the face. You're out of line, snapped one MPD detective. Kichi Sawatari. Yay, Sawatari. The Metropolitan Police Department's first criminal investigation section. Okay. Having heard Kajiwara's past deeds from friends at the Shibuya precinct, he recommended to his boss that Kajiwara be assigned to the investigation at the Osawa residence. Really? Okay, so it was you. After seeing the detective's interactions with Osawa, he is confident that his recommendation was in the right. However, given the circumstances, he can't help but take a cold stance towards Kajiwara. Interesting. Hold your tongue. I don't care if I'm out of line. You may have talent. I'll give you that, the other detective said. But you're a precinct detective, and this isn't your jurisdiction. It's not your place to question orders from higher up. Wait, Osawa thought. Kajiwara really is a real detective after all. What do you think he's been doing this whole time? Go on, explain the situation to Mr. Osawa. Kajiwara bit his lip in frustration at the other detective's orders. Very well, he said. But before he could say more, Osawa noticed that the police equipment had been cleared off the table. Oh. Hold on, Osawa said. What's going on? Has something happened? Allow me to explain, sir, Kajiwara said. His bitterness showed plainly on his face. We've been recalled, sir. I guess recalled? We've been recalled, sir. Yeah, I guess that there is a difference in the pronunciation. If you say recalled, I recall this happening versus recalled. The MPD has established a security force headed by members of its Public Security Bureau to deal with the bioterrorist threat. Because the kidnapping task force has not yet found Maria and she is infected with the virus, the task force personnel have instead been absorbed into the security force and will continue their work under its direction. Osawa narrowed his eyes, fighting to keep the confusion from his face. What do you mean by that? He was shaking, terrified to have his suspicions confirmed. I'm truly sorry, sir, for having been unable to help you. Kajiwara gave a deep and solemn bow. But, Maria, what's going to happen to Maria? Another unit has been tasked with bringing your daughter into custody, sir. That much, at least, Osawa could process. You're going to place her under quarantine, aren't you? Kajiwara's lips stiffened, but he nodded. In order to minimize the spread of the virus, so I'm told. No, Osawa cried. You can't do that. If you do, there won't be any way to save her. Okay, so I make sure, yeah. Okay, yeah. Like, I see, they're not doing anything wrong. From their perspective, this course of action makes sense. It's just that Osawa is worried about, his daughter, which makes sense as well. His head spun. Please, I beg of you. You need to get Maria to me. I might be able to save her. When Kajiwara didn't respond, he turned to the other detectives. Please. Don't. You can't place Maria under quarantine. But the detectives' only answer was to avert their eyes. Why are you all ignoring me? Please, you have to listen. If you bring her to me, I can figure something out. I know I can. He plucked himself down on the floor, yelling and flailing his arms like a child throwing throwing a tantrum. No. The detectives exchanged sullen looks with one another, then walked off and left him there. He knew he must be a sorry sight, but nevertheless he kept shouting after them. Please, don't stand by and let my daughter die! Oh. Well, I guess it's just you and me, Kajiwara. Only Kajiwara remained with him in the living room. I'm sorry, sir. This was beyond my ability to stop. He gave another apologetic bow. Osawa felt suddenly deflated. No, you've done a fine job, Detective Kajiwara. It's me who should be sorry. I've made such a disgraceful display of myself. That's not true, sir. In fact, I'm deeply moved. I can tell how much Maria must mean to you. Osawa shook his head. If I'd really been thinking about Maria, I would have made an effort to work with you detectives more. It was all just self-absorbed shouting. A moment of emotional selfishness. And yet, as a result, you convinced me to stay here with you. I also think that, like, this has nothing to do with anything. I think that, like, the actor, I guess, for Kajiwara has such a distinctly Kajiwara face, if that makes sense. Like, it's very like, oh, like, I could be the bad guy, but I don't know, it just has, like, this certain amount of kindness to it. This quality of, like, oh yeah, of course. Like, of course I'm here for you. And I don't know, just, it's really good. It's really nice. I think it captures the essence of this character really well. So, he really was a perfect cast. Yeah. It's like, I can't imagine anyone else sort of playing this character. Whereas, I mean, all the characters are kind of doing fantastic in these shots. But, I don't know. For Kajiwara especially, it's just him. It's just him. Like, that is him. Kajiwara proceeded to pull out his phone and put it in a request with the task force headquarters to remain at the Osawa residence. He got into a heated spat with his commanding officer, but ultimately received permission to stay on as the police liaison with Osawa. Well, the detective said when he hung up, you see, there are some people who are legitimately moved by a parental display of emotion. Even if I'm not certain that I can do very much in staying here with you. Where is I? Where's your wife, Osawa? Like, she received news that her ex-boyfriend had died, and then that was kind of, like, really big and shocking for her, and then she's just not here. She's not here anymore. That's my biggest question right now. That's not true, Osawa replied. There's plenty you can help me with. He looked into Kajiwara's face and smiled. For instance, I can have a banana whenever I want. You find things that have gone missing. That fried egg on rice that you made me was delicious. I like A or C. Let's do C. That fried egg on rice you made me was delicious. Kajiwara let out a bright little laugh. Oh, that's so nice of you to say. You flatter me. It's not flattery. Osawa shook his head seriously. Honestly, I've got a hankering for more. I wish I had your cooking skills, detective. Osawa didn't even know how to use a microwave, so I can sure understand your sentiment. I'm sure you do. But despite the praise, Kajiwara's smile took on a note of sadness. Oh, no. Anyone could make something like that after living alone like I have. Osawa was surprised to hear that he lived alone. The detective looked like he was old enough to likely be married by now. Doing this job caused me to neglect my family. Finally, about 2 years ago, my wife hit me with the divorce papers. I wanted to be able to keep our daughter with me, but, well, the law tends to favor the mother when it comes to custody issues. Yeah. Especially in Japan. Especially at this time. Especially at this time. Especially in Japan. Okay. So his living alone was a newer thing after being separated from his wife and daughter. That fried egg on rice. My daughter used to love that. Is that so? Oh, that was me talking. Hello, it's me. That fried egg on rice. My daughter used to love that. Is that so? I can cook more proper dishes, but for whatever reason, she just really loved that one. Why are so many cops in this game single? Kano really beating the statistics. True! Kano's out here absolutely winning, apparently. Kano and Sasayama. They were both living the life, apparently. And everybody else was just really, really sad. The detective pulled 2 bars of chocolate from his pocket. Why do you just have this? What? Osawa accepted one and said nothing. Why is it already bitten into, technically? What? Okay. Oh, is that Meiji chocolate? Nice. My daughter was fond of this brand of chocolate too. Kajiwara snapped off a bit of his own bar and popped it into his mouth. I would warn her that she'd get cavities if she ate too much, but she'd stuff her face to the point where there was practically always chocolate smeared around her mouth. Bro, why is it already unwrapped? It's like, don't ask questions, just take it. Okay, alright, sure. Kajiwara sighed, and a forlorn smile came to his face. I guess the fact that I always carry stuff like this around in my pockets just means I'm a fool who doesn't know how to let go. Oh, I see. I see. Osawa shook his head. I don't think that's true at all. He understood full well what it was like to have a daughter always in one's thoughts. Osawa too broke off a piece of chocolate and slipped it into his mouth. Okay, so it's just, I thought he said 2 pieces of chocolate. It's 1 chocolate bar and they're just breaking off pieces, blah blah blah, of the same chocolate bar. Okay. It was sweet and milky, a taste a child would love. He licked the residual chocolate from his fingertips, then turned back to Kajiwara. The 2 men smiled at one another. Aww. Here was a man Osawa could really talk to. He was sure of that much now. Detective, I apologize. I've kept things from you because I was worried they would involve... yeah, because I was worried they involved classified corporate information. Oh? Kajiwara's eyes glimmered with interest. Earlier today, I received some emails. They could be pertinent to the case. Would you mind letting me see them? Osawa shook his head. On the contrary. Back in front of his computer, Osawa saw that Ayanet was still open. Pretty Honey had responded to his forum post. Hey, Pretty Honey. One moment while I read this. Yeah, you know what? Let's see what Kano's father-in-law has to say about this. One moment. Just let me read this. Osawa read the response. I got that same result. Do you really think it's too late? Don't give up hope. Hang in there. It's never too late. Every family has its share of problems. Like, you'll never find one that doesn't, I'm sure. When it comes to family, there's no such thing as game over. Get it? Because we're in a video game right now? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. What? So don't let it get you down, Julie. So, besides, I did learn one thing from reading your post. In the end, a father's happiness is his daughter's happiness. Whoa! The use of emoticons is just so... I don't know, like... It's something that... I know I keep going back to Yakuza, and maybe I'm thinking about Yakuza because the new game got released today. But anyway, it's something where it's like... The thing that I like about... One of the things that I like about Yakuza is that, for the most part, maybe some of the older games... Some of the, like, very first games, like 1 and 2 and 3... were like just kind of, they were games. They were the games of all time. They were games to be games. But I feel like for the most part, Yakuza as a series is a really good exploration into like healthy masculinity and things like that, and what it means to be a man, and to be a man with feelings and emotions and, you know, just having a life, and having an interest, and having, you know, having a family, kind of like this. And so this game does a really good job of like capturing that as well. I feel like Kajiwara peered into the monitor. A young girl is posting to a forum for people 40 and older. It's pretty honey. She always replies to my threads. The detective furrowed his brow. I see. Is something the matter? No. That last line there just has me curious is all. A young girl writing something like that. Well, that's neither here nor there right now. Let me see those emails if you would. Oh yeah, that's very true. Kiryu and Ichiban are always considered to be the manliest of men, and they show it in all the fashions. Yeah. Especially Ichiban as well, and like his influence, I guess, on like, I guess more so like infinite wealth stuff, but his influence on Kiryu, which is just like to be a man is to cry, to jump with joy, to sort of feel all the emotions, and they do it in different ways, but it's so vital and so important, I think. Osawa opened his email. He pulled up the images of the human testing on the monitor. We're gonna get some probably gruesome images again. Yeah. What is this? Kajiwara stared at the monitor as if unable to look away. These are images from unauthorized clinical testing of an antiviral drug I developed, carried out by my company without my knowledge. Images of I'm sorry, what was that? The detective frowned at the unfamiliar terminology. In simple terms, the antiviral is a wonder drug to combat the UA virus. Hold on. Maria is infected with the UA virus, isn't that right? Yes. UA is a species of virus discovered in South Africa. Relatively recently. Roughly 12 hours after infection, patients develop a cough, then a fever, then begin vomiting, and ultimately begin to bleed uncontrollably from all over, resulting in death. The mortality rate is... Osawa was reluctant to say it. Kajiwara held his breath, waiting. It's nearly 100%. Okay, so the General Task Force does not know this. They don't know how time sensitive this is. Kajiwara shuddered. But wait, he said after a moment. If you have this wonder drug, then Maria... Osawa shook his head. Without Tanaka, I have no means of getting it out of the lab. Kajiwara's frown deepened. I see. It may not be much to go on, but I think we can put this together. We can put together at least one piece of our little mystery here. Something difficult or impossible to explain, an enigma. You see plenty of books titled The Mystery of Such and Such and The Secret of Whatever on bookstore shelves. Yes, you do. But whenever you read them, you're invariably disappointed by the mystery not being that mysterious after all. True. Why are they always titled that same general thing? Pardon me one moment. Kajiwara inspected the email address of the sender, A, then brought up the email header. You don't see email addresses like this much. It's seemingly from a foreign country, but that may be fake. You can tell just from the email? The detective flashed a little grin. Take a look here. So, if we just do this... Okay, Kajiwara hacking, let's go. And then this. His fingers flew over the keyboard, calling up the header details, singling out the received from field. This set of 4 numbers at the bottom is the sender's IP address. Think of it as an ordinarily hidden location marker of sorts. How did you do that? How? I would like to know. Okay, sure. He just knows. He just knows. He'll figure it out. As he spoke, the detective pulled up a website called IP Station. He copied and pasted the set of 4 numbers and pressed the enter key. The monitor showed the name of the provider, connection method, and other such details. A vendor that provides an internet connection service. Typical internet connection requires a dedicated line. Customers who do not already have one must make a contract for one with the provider. When the provider establishes your connection to the internet, you are assigned an identifying number called an IP address. Indeed. Osawa couldn't make heads or tails out of most of it, but one thing drew his eye. Access point Shibuya Ward, Tokyo. Okay, surely... These two are really close right now. Surely they would just be using a VPN, right? Now's a great time to say this stream is sponsored by NordVPN. No, it's not. It's not. But interesting. I guess they just didn't use a VPN. They were just like, yeah, whatever. It's Shibuya Ward. Who cares if you find this? Kajiwara went into the email program's options and checked the server info for Osawa's connection. Deep furrows formed in his forehead. This is the same provider that you use, Mr. Osawa. What do you mean? What does this mean? What does that mean? Are you saying it's potentially I? Is it I in the other room just like sending emails to her husband? That would be ridiculous. I don't think so. Surely not. Actually it may be. It may be. Because they're working against Osawa at this point. So it might be that that's the case. Also, I don't know how he would have realized that it was from Shibuya just from the name of the email address. Yeah, this is just like hacker BS, like type into the keyboard. It's like, okay, I hacked the code. I figured it all out. It's just like Lotus. Lotus from Zero Escape, just like being a hacker, and she just like types a bunch of keys, and it's like, yep, that worked. That worked because I'm a hacker and I work in cybersecurity. That's how it works. It's like, okay, whatever you say. What kind of internet connection do you have here at your house? What sort? Well, it's plugged in over there, but... Osawa pointed at the router. And does everyone in your family use that same line? Yes, I think so. Kajiwara opens up a command prompt, then typed in ipconfig, a literal prompt for users to issue computer control commands via keyboard instead of mouse, also frequently used to refer to the window or program allowing for such. Okay, so if the same numbers we saw before pop up here, that's a bad sign. That's a really bad sign. That means that your wife is totally super duper evil, as they say. Huh? Osawa stared at the monitor. Kajiwara pressed enter and a black window covered in white alphanumeric characters appeared. What the heck? Oh, what the heck? Kajiwara muttered under his breath. Wait, what's going on? Osawa asked. Explain simply so that I can understand. Faking an email address is simple enough, but the typical person wouldn't be able to fake an IP. Well, true. But keep in mind that they could have a VPN, and these people that we're up against seem to be on a whole different level. So, unless they are using personal email servers, which is highly irregular, there's no way they can track it directly back to a specific computer. Yeah, it's all just like hacker logic. Hacker logic, as in hacker from a piece of fiction media. It's like, yeah, this sounds about correct. Don't worry about it. It's just funny because cybersecurity doesn't work like this. Oh, I know. I don't have a degree or anything in cybersecurity, but it's like it's just none of this is like this at all. So it's just like, why do they do this? Give me 1 second. I'm gonna take a swig of water here. Okay. Osawa had to stifle a gasp. The emails had been sent from his own house around 11 o'clock that morning. Since Osawa hadn't sent them himself, that only left one possible culprit. Interesting. I feel like at the very beginning of the game, one of the first things that I said was that, oh no, Tanaka had sent the emails. And I mean, it wasn't him, but it ended up being I. Hello, lovely wife, who's, covered in red right here. Totally not a suspicious shot, but sure. Where did she go, anyway? Like, I feel like we should have kept an eye on her. Suddenly, his phone rang, nearly startling him out of his seat. Makino's name showed on the incoming call display. Osawa quickly picked up. Is there an update on the emergency board meeting? He blurted. Makino's voice was quiet and subdued. I tried pulling whatever strings I could, but to no avail. I'm afraid holding a board meeting today just won't be possible. The phone fell from Osawa's hand. His only possible means of saving Maria was now gone. To be continued. No. That time block it felt really short. Osawa's story there felt really short. Maybe I'm crazy. Okay, it starts at 10. And then it ends at 40. Yeah, no, it was a little bit shorter. Okay. I don't think we can make any... This is the one choice that we make that could affect things, but otherwise, I don't think... There's a jump here. But that's the previous time block. Okay. Alright, well... But that means less variation for other routes. That does. That is true. That is true. I hate to do this right now, but I do think that I might call it. It is a very early stream, but I don't know. This is good for like gauging energy levels, because I was thinking about this. I was like, I don't know if I can read for like 2 hours straight and do everything. And the answer is I'm still not 100%. So I think I'm just gonna end a little bit early today, and just rest a little bit. But I think by Monday or Tuesday, I should be good to go. I should be feeling 100% probably. Hello, gamers. Hello. I am back with some more 428 Shibuya Scramble. I don't know why, but for some reason the time on the stream manager and then the time on the actual OBS is off, and that's bothered me. Anyway, hi, hello, Black Blue, hello. Let me go over to game screen. Yay, there I am. Cool. So yesterday, let me explain. Yesterday, first of all, let me start from Saturday. Saturday, I think I was still recovering from surgery, and that's why I was just kind of out of it. I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I can stream today or whatever. Yesterday had nothing to do with that, but it had everything to do with me just being so tired. So unbelievably tired. And that's why also 18 different things went wrong at once, and that's just kind of why I was completely gone for that day. Today we're probably gonna have a little bit of a shorter stream, if I had to guess, just because I've been awake since 3 in the morning and it is 7 p.m. right now, and I'm crashing, I'm fading. So maybe this will be like an hour and a half stream probably, and then I'll combine last VOD and this VOD, put it up on YouTube, and then from there we should probably have the normal schedule, I think. To be honest, I was a bit worried that you ghosted yesterday. Glad to see you okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. It was just, I was so unbelievably out of it because I had to take care of so many other things, and I think I was just really tired. But no, it's nothing about surgery. Surgery went well, it's fine. That's all in the past at this point. It's just everything to do with me being tired. So, but yeah, we are back with some more of this game. I don't even remember what happened last time, so that's this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be really great and awesome. Where's time chart? Okay, so we haven't started Kano's story. We haven't started Minorikawa's. Osawa, right? Osawa had this really short scene, but emotional scene, where they were just kind of like, okay, well, we don't take orders from the kidnapping division anymore. It's like whatever, and all those police officers just kind of left. And Osawa has been kind of in a panic, and Kajiwara has been there to help him, so that's good. We did all of 5 seconds of Maria's story, I guess, where Tanaka was like, let me tell you about my this isn't Tanaka, is it? Is it Tanaka? I don't know. Tanaka was like, let me tell you about my deep, dank, dark past, and then we gotta keep out. And that's kind of been it for this time block, so. It was truly the start of the Osawa x Kajiwara arc. True. It really was. Yeah, I like the way that Osawa is written in this game. I like it a lot. I think I've said it before. I think I said it last stream probably even, but I like it a ton. So, Not Tanaka. Tanaka is the dead guy from Osawa's company. Right, right, okay. Not Tanaka, but probably, I don't know, probably Kano's hero or somebody. I don't know, something. He's just a guy. He's just a guy with a cane. So, okay. I think I'm all caught up. I think my brain may may prevail, may yet prevail. Let's go ahead and hop into Kano's story. Arriving back at the Shibuya precinct, Kano hurried to the interrogation room. With the investigation currently on hold, he knew that taking any official action would be tricky. If he was going to break through this stalemate, he was going to need Tateno's help. Right, that was the name of his hero, Tateno. And I think that's the guy with the cane, but I'm not entirely sure. The abduction, the ransom, the attaché case relay, Maria's release, and then Tanaka's death. Maybe Tateno would be able to figure out how all these elements were related. But first, Kano needed to check something for himself. Tateno would have never let Kawaran go free. Kano needed the prisoner to set the record straight. Oh, okay, so we're down we're down here to question him. He's just chilling out. He's just like, man, I'm having a great old time. Kawaran sat in the precinct interrogation room, looking brazen and cocksure. One glance at his face, and Kano was reminded of what had happened to Sasayama. Fresh anger smoldered at the edges of his mind. There were two detectives already in the room. It seems he wasn't made privy to the details, one of them told Kano. Sounds like they were following orders carrying that attaché case around, the other added. Kano sat down across from Kawaran. Ooh, okay. So this is I figured from the opening shot of this one, but this is kind of Kano's serious arc. Super serial arc. Good for him. There's something I'd like to ask you, he said. You were just paid to do a job. I don't know anything more than that. His Japanese was imperfect, but he understood the language well enough. Tell me, how did you manage to escape from Detective Tateno? Escape? I didn't. A faint smile came to Kawaran's lips. Faint smile. Faint smile, by the way. He let me go free. Liar. Detective Tateno would never do that. Kano slammed the desk with his fist. I didn't have handcuffs on, did I? He took them off for me. This had to be a lie. It's not like there weren't other ways to remove a pair of handcuffs. I'm trying to decide whether I should give like the broken accent. I guess for posterity, it's like, yeah, maybe a little more broken. If I can manage that, actually, can I? After he took off the handcuffs, Kawaran continued. He pointed his gun at me. I don't think I can, actually. I didn't want to do an accent if I didn't have to. Cut the crap! Kano grabbed the prisoner by the collar, but Kawaran went on unperturbed. He kept the gun pointed at me, but he didn't pull the trigger. So that's when I ran. Why would Detective Tateno want to shoot you? Because I saw him. Saw him? Saw him do what? Let me tell you something interesting, Kawaran said sardonically. Okay. There was that girl who was carrying the ransom, right? Kano pictured Hitomi standing anxiously beside the statue of Hachiko. That guy Tateno was trying to kill her. Ah, okay. Okay, so it is, yeah, it is Tateno then. It's the guy with the cane is Tateno. In a fit of rage, and anger, Kano drove his fist into Alcawaran's face. His colleagues rushed to interpose themselves. Kano, calm down! Knocked to the floor, Alcawaran gingerly fingered his split lip. And after I gave you such good info, too, he grumbled. Detective Tateno was assigned to protect Hitomi Osawa, Kano shouted. Always be sus of a man with a cane. I mean, it was always like, how is he finding us? How is he getting here so quickly when he has a cane? It's like, there's so many things about him that were just like, how could he be privy to this information? So I guess it would make sense that he's the detective. So, yeah. You can't expect me to believe you're rubbish. He lunged around the table, ready to throw another punch, but his fellow detectives held him back. Alcawaran looked away indifferently. It's your Detective Tateno you should be arresting, not me. A girl's going to get killed. You need to step in line, pal, Kano bellowed. Kano, his colleague shouted. You're the one who needs to step in line. Go and cool off for a bit. Expelled from the interrogation room, Kano immediately pulled out his cell phone and called Tateno's number. Oh. Okay. I think this is also why we got a keep out here in Maria's timeline. Because she's with him. So I think his phone is about to ring. Okay. Please pick up. He clutched his phone tight, pleading under his breath. But Tateno didn't answer. Kano sat down in a chair in the hallway in a bit of a daze. He found himself holding the present Sasayama had gotten for his wife. Oh yeah, I forgot that he gave that to us. Okay. I have to do something. I just don't know what I'm supposed to do. Is this Sasayama speaking? I think that was Kano. Oops. Oopsie daisy. His restlessness gnawed at him like a rabid animal. Hey, Kano, it's me. Who the fuck? Oh. Oh, okay. It's Kuze. Oh boy. Ah! He looked up to see Kuze standing beside him, his expression grave. The director began. Kano swallowed the lump in his throat. I see. Kano bit his lip hard. His handkerchief, red with Sasayama's blood, clung to the wrapping paper of Sasayama's present. Ah. Kano peeled it away carefully so as to not tear the paper beneath. Kuze asked Kuze. Sasayama had me hold on to this for him. It's a present for his wife. I'm sorry, Director Kuze, for ignoring your orders. To be fair, I have no idea what the fuck you're saying at any given time. Kano's eyes remained fixed on the gift as he spoke. When you get down to it, none of this would have happened if it weren't for me. Some kind of punishment was surely headed his way for acting alone as he had. He probably wasn't going to get out of this one with a simple written apology. When public servants are negligent of their duties or violate regulations, they can be punished with a warning, a formal reprimand, reduction in pay, suspension, or dismissal. In the case of a warning, in addition to the remonstration from a direct supervisor, the individual must also submit a formal letter explaining the relevant details and assuring that it won't happen again. But Kuze calmly shook his head. He said, There was a rare note of vulnerability in Kuze's voice, was there? Kuze fell silent, ruminating. The quiet lingered between the two men for several moments before he abruptly spoke again. Kuze had slipped into his childish register. Again, he's always been there. Is that a good idea? I am not entirely sure. Maybe not. Maybe not right now. He was clearly exhausted. After dealing with the kidnapper's baffling actions and too much meddling from the higher-ups, even a veteran like Kuze is just beat. But that's not the only reason for this exhaustion. Kuze has a brother, 6 years his senior. Why are we getting this backstory? Who, despite being nominally mature, refuses to get a real job and shows no inclination of settling down with a family. He walks around town day after day dressed like a hippie and treating passerbys to songs he's written. Okay, I was like, do we know this person? I don't think so. I don't think we know this person. Kuze has been worrying about his shiftless brother for years now. The guy's become a chronic source of consternation. That had nothing to do with anything. But okay. It's like, it's little things like that that's like, I don't understand why you included that, but I mean, I enjoy it. So, like a childish voice register. Thank you. Thank you, Chu. Thank you so much. Hello, I hope you have been well. We're just here playing some more 428 Shibuya Scramble. Kano was thrown by the question, words. It was a rare thing for the director to seek an opinion from a mere junior detective. Kuze went on. Kano had the same thought. It felt too intentional to be a coincidence. I hope that there's no save icon here. About releasing the name? Kano said. That wasn't such a simple thing to answer. There were so many factors to consider. A tired smile came to Kuze's face. Okay, well, that's a freaking lie. that's just a fucking lie. Great. Cool. It's like, yeah, don't think about it too hard. I just want it for reference. Don't worry. It's not going to affect anything. Cool. I think releasing the name should be all right. I think we should hold back for now. I can't make that decision, sir. I think B, honestly. I think we should hold back for now. Kuze rumbled. We still don't know if Mamoru Tanaka was murdered or if he committed suicide. I understand. There are a lot of moving parts to this mystery. So it's like, I understand you for not ruling it out. Like, that's good. Hard to say he committed suicide, though. I wouldn't immediately think that. Kano pointed out. We should at least wait until we know that much. This case had so many loose ends that could lead in dangerous directions. It would pay to be as prudent as possible. Kuze paused for a moment in thought, then nodded. Then, without another word, thank goodness, he headed back toward the conference room. On the TV, the governor's press conference was still going on. I've just requested that each of the railroad companies, starting with JR, stop running trains through Shibuya Station until further notice. As far as the roads go, Route 246. That came up before. Why is this game called 428 Shibuya Scramble anyway? But in terms of 246, this came up before earlier in Kano's route at some point. I don't know why. Why am I doing this voice? Route 426 has already been closed to traffic. The executive looked pale as he spoke to the crowd. Is there any possibility of a bioterrorist attack? What about the people who are still in Shibuya? The reporters unleashed a barrage of questions. The governor's face scrunched up. As I've already made clear, this is not a complete blockade. Because modern Japan does not have a system for enacting martial law, there are few ways that the government could effectively quarantine Shibuya. In the case of a potential viral infection, the infectious disease law allows for the city to be partitioned into sections of restricted movement. If the authorities do not want to acknowledge the existence of the top secret UA virus, however, taking such an action would be tricky legally. Oh, I see. I would love for the creators of this game, the developers of this game, to like revisit this game again post-COVID and just like really think about this. Really think of like, do you have anything else to add about this? Especially given everything. There's nothing to stop anyone from leaving Shibuya on foot. Isn't what you're describing de facto martial law? Spat one reporter. Of course not, the governor snapped. You should be well aware that martial law is illegal. Oh, you should be well aware that martial law is illegal. I couldn't declare it even if I wanted to. If you wanted to. So this is a bioterrorist issue then? I never said anything of the sort. The chaos conference, the press conference was devolving into chaos. That's what it is. I can't search anything about 428 Shibuya because it always shows this game. Yeah. Maybe just a fictional creative choice. I mean, he can declare it. It just wouldn't be great. Case in point. More recent events in South Korea. It's like, you can try. It won't be good, though. It won't end well for you. Still, everyone was doing their best insofar as they knew how. So why not me? Kano thought. Don't look it up, it's a spoiler. Okay. At some point, maybe there will be 428 people at Aya Kamiki's last concert in Shibuya, and that's, I don't know. And yeah, I don't know. Something like that. You'll know why it's named this eventually. Okay. It doesn't matter what I do. I just want to be doing something. Just letting time tick by without trying to take action was more than he could bear. Kano made another choice, but before I do that, let me... I think my dog is back from her walk. Let me let her into the room. Hold on. Okay. She was back. Actually commissioned an emote especially for her. I don't remember if I talked about this on stream. I think I did. I commissioned a special emote just for her. So at some point that will be ready to sort of show off, and whenever we get affiliate, that'll be there to use as well. So for your dog, yes, the special dog emote. And then mostly everything else will be centered around Juno. So, yes. Kano began to worry about Rumi and decided to give her a call. Was worried about Sasayama. What is going on with Rumi anyway? Was worried about Sasayama, decided to visit him in the hospital. Thought about Sasayama's wife and decided to get in touch with her. Ooh, these are all really interesting choices, actually. If you have emotes, you can upload them to 7TV or BTTV. Yeah, so that you can use them while in your channel. Yeah. I was gonna kind of Well, I was gonna use that for more animated stuff, but I could always just upload it while waiting for things, so that people can can use it. Kano began to worry about Rumi and decided to give her a call. All of these are really good, to be honest. I want to do B, I think. Kano was worried about Sasayama and decided to visit in the hospital. Oh, there's that kid. Where's your dad? Where is your dad? As he was making his way toward the hospital, Kano spotted a girl sitting on the pedestrian overpass. She looked like she was on the verge of tears. Concerned, he stopped beside her. "Are you waiting for someone?" he asked. The girl simply bit her lip and said nothing. "Are you lost? Do you need a policeman?" The relatively low crime rate in Japan, combined with the rather high police personnel numbers in Tokyo, means that officers, particularly beat cops, often have plenty of bandwidth to deal with more minor issues. This is true? Again, the girl gave no answer. "Where did you come from?" Kano tried. Still nothing. He had just decided to go and call for a female officer when the girl hesitantly spoke at last.
"Heaven Publishing."
After a little coaxing, she told him where that was. It turned out it was on the way to Shibuya Central Hospital, not too far from where they were now. "Why don't I take you there then?" Kano said. "I'm already heading in that direction anyway." The girl seemed a bit reluctant at first, but eventually she agreed to go with Kano. So this girl shows up in like everyone's story, basically, I think. Definitely Minorikawa's. Oh, well. Oh, yeah, no. In Osawa's as well. Yeah. In Maria's. In Achi's, yeah. And now in Kano's. So she just shows up everywhere. Okay. Kano parted ways with the girl outside the building where Heaven Publishing was located. He noticed that she hesitated to enter at first, but eventually vanished inside. Is that a good idea? I thought the loan sharks were waiting in there. Oh well. Kano's phone rang as he was about to continue on his way. When he peered at the incoming call display, his heart nearly stopped. Tateno. There was Tateno's name. Okay. Kano quickly pressed the button to accept the call. "Detective Tateno? Detective Tateno, is that you?" There was a whole mountain of things Kano wanted to ask. Just what had he been doing this whole time? Why had he let Alcawaran go free? And what had happened to Hitomi? But while trying to decide what question to pose first, Tateno spoke. "I've secured Maria Osawa." "What?" The word came out as a startled gasp. "Detective Tateno, you have to bring her here ASAP. Right now, she's..." Tateno cut him off. "You need to bring Hitomu Osawa, okay?" Alright. I spent the whole game with her and I don't even know her name. Oh well. You need to bring Hitomi Osawa to my location at once. "Hitomi Osawa?" "Yes. I heard over the wireless that the man from the US Embassy had her in custody." Who has Hitomi right now? Achi does, right? So that shouldn't be correct. Kano hadn't been listening to the most recent wireless traffic. Apparently Stanley had managed to find Hitomi. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Sounds like I'm gonna go have to play through Achi's storyline. Great. But what was Tateno getting at here? Wait, hold on. What for? I mean, why do you need me to bring Hitomi Osawa to you? There was no reply. Detective Tateno, answer me, please." Tateno replied as if he hadn't heard Kano's questions. "There's an office building in Nambirai called South Hill. I'll be waiting there for you on the rooftop. If you don't bring her, I'll kill Maria." Damn. Maria feeling hella awkward right now. Like, dang. Dang, why me? Alright, cool. With that grisly warning, he hung up. Kano's hand went limp. His phone slipped from his grasp and fell to the floor. Oh, no keep out there. Okay. Kano went to South Hill in Nanpeidai alone. The building takes its name from a rough translation of Nanpeidai, a name of the area where it is located. The official name is South Hill Building, but since that is awkward to say, it is frequently shortened. Ah, I see. You didn't have to say he would kill her. All you had to say is that she would die to keep Kano's trust. True. True. Now you're thinking. It's like he's not really thinking about it. You have to play chess 100. He hadn't brought Hitomi as Tateno had demanded, nor had he reported the situation to Kuze. Why? First, I mean, protagonist moment, but why? First, he wanted to meet with Tateno and find out what was going on. He took the elevator to the 8th floor. After that, he had to take the stairs to the rooftop. As he made his way up the stairs, he tried to imagine what Tateno might want with Hitomi. He hadn't noticed anything suspicious about the senior detective in the lead-up to the stakeout at the Scramble. Tateno had seemed like the same man Kano had always revered. So why was he doing this? Kano couldn't think of a reason. Reaching the top of the staircase, he at last stepped out onto the open roof. The time for half-baked conjecture was past. Kano would lay his doubts at Tateno's feet. Then, soon enough, everything would become clear. Inwardly, Kano did his best to convince himself of that. A warm breeze blew against his cheek. He took a look around but saw no sign of Tateno. "Detective Tateno, where are you?" Getting no response, he began to walk around the rooftop, calling out several more times. "It's Kano! I've come as you asked!" "Where's Hitomi Osawa?" Kano whirled around when he heard the voice behind him. Ah, dang it. I was having my magical girl adventures. You had no idea. It was so cool. I was in a cat suit at one point. It was so fun. Why am I dealing with this? Tateno stepped into view from behind a water tank. He led with him a young woman bound and blindfolded. So how is she walking? "Why didn't you bring her?" he growled. Kano stared in shock. I love this BGM. It is very much like, this is a big important moment. This is the showdown. So epic. It captures the feeling of betrayal of like, why are you doing this? No. Kano stared in shock. "Detective Tateno, why are you doing this? No." Is that really Maria? Speaking of Maria, they could make this jump, but it's fine. Tateno responded by removing the young woman's blindfold. With her blindfold removed, Maria slowly opened her eyes. Then, as she gazed past Kano, a panicked look crossed her face. What the hell? She shot out her arm to point. What the hell is that? Is that Minori Kawa? What is... Huh? What? It's kind of whirled around in surprise. There was a man on the roof of the building across the way. Is that really him? It is. Bro, what are you doing? I think that's Minori Kawa, but also why? He's just always causing problems. I know, right? It's like we had this whole awesome scene set up and he was just like, anyway, so I'm here too. Why now? Kano thought to himself, but he couldn't just stand idly by while someone committed suicide. He felt a pang of disgust when he saw Tateno take in the situation with an indifferent glance, but made no move to help. Detective Tateno, I'll be right back, Kano exclaimed. We can finish this later. Without waiting for an answer, he raced to the other side of the for the other building. Blah, blah, blah. Bro, what are you doing? When he got to the second rooftop, the man was still there, staring down at the ground below. Don't do anything rash, Kano warned, hurrying toward him. When the man gave no response, though, Kano quickly halted. Why? The stranger was still severely, several meters away. Oh boy. Okay. Now I'm feeling the lack of sleep. Kano braced himself, ready to lunge for the man if necessary. Let's not be hasty. No one is going to be happy if you jump. Still, the man said nothing, simply gazing out at the sky. Surely he could hear Kano now. The detective continued, keeping his voice low and conversational. I've got a coworker. He's one of the most absurdly devoted husbands you can meet. All he does is brag about his wife. The man continued to ignore him. He was stabbed in the belly earlier today. Oh, okay. That was such a thing to say. He's in the hospital right now, on death's door. He was happy, but now his life might get snatched away from him anyway. Still, the man appeared unmoved. It was as if words weren't reaching him. What is he doing? Is he really... Like, I know when we last left off, he was actually legitimately depressed because, Oh yeah, Hana... I forgot. Hana's dad might be dead. Right. We learned about that last time. I don't believe it, but we received word that Hana's father has died. So I understand that that's taken a really huge emotional toll on Minorikawa, but I can't help but feel like he's here to, like, I don't know, scope something maybe? Don't you think it's a waste to just go and throw your life away? Kano waited for the man to respond. The stranger took a purposeful stride away from the fence, toward the roof's edge. Stop! Don't do it! The man unflinchingly stepped out toward the empty air. Ooh, no! Kano sprang forward, somehow managing to grab hold of the stranger's wrist. He yanked the man back to the edge, only to get a blank stare in response. Don't go wasting your life like this! Ordinarily, Kano would have stayed and talked until he was sure this guy's death wish had passed. But there wasn't time for that right now. Maria was in just as much danger in that very moment. True, Maria's like, dang, I can't believe that guy abandoned me. Oh well. Whipping out his handcuffs, he shackled the man to the fence. Oh, okay. Pfft. This sucks to be him, I guess. What? I promise I'll come back. Just stay alive for a few minutes longer, okay? Just stay. Just give me a minute. Kano left the man staring in bewilderment and raced back to the South Hill building. When he got back to the roof, no one was there. Yippee! That smells like a bad end to me. Kano immediately tried to call Tateno in his cell, but the call didn't go through. Tateno must have powered off his phone. Damn it! Where'd you go, detective? He needed to hear what Tateno had to say. He still had no idea what was really going on or what the grim truth might be. And it seemed like he had just lost his chance to find out. God. Why? Minorikawa, why? In desperation, Kano rushed from the building. But his frantic search of the area, he saw no sign of either Tateno or Maria. Later, a precinct-wide manhunt failed to discover where the two had gone. Well, doesn't that mean that we all die? From that day forward, Kano was empty inside, carrying out his duties as a detective with bleak detachments. Oh, okay. Well, I guess she died. I guess they died. I guess they died off screen. Number 53, lost sight of Maria and Tateno because I don't know what was Minorikawa doing. When Kano caught sight of a man about to commit suicide, it was Minorikawa. In case you didn't realize, it was Minorikawa. He could ignore the situation and impulsively rushed to the rescue, but lost track of Tateno and Maria as a result. If Minorikawa hadn't turned up on that rooftop, if Minorikawa hadn't been there, Kano would have been able to focus on his primary mission. Oopsie daisy, I blame Minorikawa. As you should, to be honest. Why does he do the things that he does? Cool. Well. So I can't continue there. It doesn't make a lot of sense for me to hop back to Maria. I can do that, but it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to hop to Maria right now. Just because Kano seems to be pretty intertwined with that, and we can't do anything until we start Minorikawa. Osawa is done. Seemingly. Maybe. Possibly. And we haven't started Achi's yet. And I'm angry at Minorikawa. So let's just start Achi's. What's the worst that can happen? Sorry. It's all over the place. Like posters and little, it's like all over the place. It's just Aya Kamiki in this one song. Achi could hear ambulance and police sirens wailing on the main road. He looked down at Hitomi, slumped on a park bench beside him. "You sure you're not hurt?" he asked quietly, offering her a bottle of water. "I'm okay." Hitomi took a sip from the bottle. "Thanks. I think I've managed to calm down some." Some of the color finally returned to her face. "So, Achi began hesitantly. Inside that minivan." Oh, right. They think it's, Oh, okay. Okay, so you saw that much at the very least. That's good. That's good. "Maria wasn't in there." There was a relief in her voice, but also a note of pathos. "I got a look in through the windshield. There was a man out in the back seat, but nobody else." But you don't realize that that's Tanaka, which is fine. I mean, it's not. You don't want to know. You don't want to know about all the other details of the plot. But okay. The dark cloud lifted from Achi's face. "So it wasn't your sister?" "No, I didn't see his face. Just that he was wearing a business suit." Achi felt the tension ebbing from his body. "That's good then. That it wasn't her. I'd been worried." It was a shame about the poor devil who had been killed, though. Who was it, and why had he been there? "So, I guess we're out of leads now." "Oh, so I guess we're out of leads," Hitomi murmured. She hung her head. "We could try the surveillance center again for now," Achi said. "It'll probably give us better odds of finding your sister than just walking around." "I guess you're right. Shall we then?" Hold on. Achi had a sudden flash of inspiration. "My house is a lot closer from here. Maybe I should ask my dad if we can check the cameras from home." "You can do that?" "We have the same system back at our house." "Okay. You do?" "I'm sure my dad will let us use them." The two got up and headed for Endo Electronics. Achi decided to let his father know they were coming. He turned on his phone as they walked along. But surely something should interrupt this. Probably, like Jack Stanley? He had it off for a while, so first he checked his voicemail. There was one message. Wondering who might have called, he played it back. Is this Achi Endo's personal cell phone? Who the frick are you? This is Dr. Saiki from Shibuya Central Hospital? Who are you? Seiichi Saiki, heart specialist. Oh, okay. I was like, why? I see. Heart specialist and Suzune's attending physician, a preemptive surgeon who has successfully performed the Batista procedure wherein the left ventricle is reconstructed after a third of it has been removed. That sounds insane. Achi's expression stiffened. He pressed the phone closer to his ear. There's been a sudden change in Suzune's condition. I tried calling your home as well, but got no answer. Achi felt the edges of his vision growing dim. As her brother, it would be good if you can come to the hospital as soon as possible. It's... really bad day. Really bad day for this. Achi? Achi? Ahem, that's not her voice. Achi? Hitomi's voice was full of concern. Sorry, I just gotta make a call here. Fingers trembling, Achi dialed his house. The phone rang several times before switching over to the answering machine. Damn it. Where the hell are you, Dad? I think he's out right now working with the theater troupe to bring whatever, I don't know, whatever freezer thing that's broken. The ice machine that's broken or something. I think he's doing that right now. What's wrong? Hitomi asked. It's Suzune. It sounds like things have gotten pretty bad. Well, then we need to get to the hospital right away, Hitomi said. She sounded as anxious as Achi was. We can't go yet. Achi shook his head quietly. First, we have to save your sister. Hitomi bristled angrily at that. What are you talking about? She grabbed Achi by the arm and shook him. Right now, you need to be thinking about your sister. I can't. I made a promise to Suzune. A promise to help people and to see things through to the end when something important is on the line. He struggled to get the words out. If I break that promise, then I really am no good to her. But Hitomi didn't look like she was going to back down. Oi, get back here! A threatening shout rung from nearby. Will Kiryu finally show up? Achi looked around, startled, and saw a boy about high school age bolting out from behind a building on a side street. Several slightly older young men were hot on his heels. What's going on over there? Achi knew their faces all too well. They were all members of SOS. 10 out of 10 VA for Oi. Oi, get back here! It just all leads back to that one voice. Why do I keep doing it? Oi, get back here! They caught their quarry just before he could make it out onto the main road. Gotcha, newbie. So the kid they were after must have been a member too. Let me go. Oh, we'll let you go, all right. After you pay up. One of the young men snatched the boy by the collar and shoved him against the wall of a nearby building. Oh! The boy's face scrunched up. What are you talking about? Playing dumb, huh? Interjected one of the onlookers. We told ya that members all have to pay their monthly dues, yeah? The privilege of getting to call yourself SOS don't come free after all. Achi felt his blood boil. SOS was trying to pull a shakedown on his new kid under the guise of calling it dues. Slang for extortion, a full-fledged crime. Naturally, the direct shakedown, "Give me all your money, punk," is quite unpleasant, but more roundabout ways of being shaken down can still leave a bad taste in one's mouth. Someone who's surrounded on the street by 8 people in pompadours who said, "Begging your pardon, but could you please hand over your money," might suffer no physical harm, but would still be a victim of a shakedown. What are you talking about, gang? What are you saying to me? It would have been unthinkable for them to do something like this back when Achi was running the show. "Hey!" he barked. "Let the kid go." He marched toward the group. "Say, what now?" They turned to look, their faces immediately going pale. "Oh, hey, Achi." "Let him go." Achi focused his glare on the fellow holding the kid until he released his grip. "You guys always going around doing stuff like this?" None of the gang members answered. They merely turned their gazes glumly to the ground. "Hey," Achi turned to the younger boy. "Since when have they been doing this?" But of course he realized there was no way the newbie would be able to tell him. "Never mind. You can go." Achi gestured toward the main road. The boy was quick to run off. Achi waited until the boy was gone before turning back to the others. "Does Susumu know you're out here collecting dues like this?" he asked. "Man, we don't gotta tell you that," one of them muttered. "Not since you deserted." "What do you say?" Achi leaned in close, getting right in the guy's face. He was met with a defiant sneer. "This ain't the old SOS anymore." "Not the old SOS." Achi thought back to the other gang member he'd run into with the malicious gleam in his eyes. Kiryu! Oh my gosh! Kiryu mentioned he is real. I can't believe it. That guy. Pretty sure he said his name was Kiryu? Back when Achi had been with Back when... Alright. Back when Achi had been with SOS, he'd never let a guy like that get away with acting all high and mighty. Suddenly, Achi heard a voice from behind him. Well, well, if it ain't our legendary founder. In an instant later, he took a hard blow to the side of the head. No! I was just looking out for some small fry, but looks like I landed me a big one. And then Hitomi beat the shit out. Okay. I thought that was what's gonna happen. Then Hitomi beat the shit out of him. Achi's head swam, his vision fading in and out. Before he had a chance to recover, something smashed into his knee. Oh no! He lay crumpled on the ground, unable to retaliate as kicks and punches rained down on him. Wait a minute, is this a bad end? That can't be. I thought we were supposed to meet Jack Stanley. I guess... I don't know, does Hitomi run off, maybe? Maybe Hitomi runs off. Maybe. Even after Achi could no longer move, the beating didn't stop. What is wrong with you guys? His ruptured eardrums could barely make out the sound of Hitomi screaming. Yeah! Yeah! Hitomi, run. This is just not your day, my guy. Could you imagine getting the call about your sister in the hospital and then this happening? With his final plea silenced before it reached his lips, Achi felt his consciousness battered away. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Bad ends. Why and how? Kiryu's ambush. Gosh darn it, Kiryu. Kiryu turned up out of nowhere and gave Achi a beatdown with a piece of timber. But just before he attacked Achi, Kiryu had run into someone else. Oh, really? And that person had said something that changed what Kiryu did. The individual in question needs to do something different to ensure Kiryu doesn't go to Dolgenzaka while Achi and Hitomi are there. Okay. Who would that be? Who would that be? What are you talking about? Okay, it can't be Maria. Cannot be Maria. I didn't even comment on that. That was a really bad bad end. That was a really messed up bad ending. Dang. Let's see. It can't be Kano, right? Yeah? It can't be Kano, I don't think. Yeah, no. Time block starts here. It's not Kano. My god. It has to be Minorikawa yet again. I don't believe it. What is this man doing? Okay. Alright. Cool. Let me... give me 1 second. I'm gonna check something really quick. And depending on how things are, I might... Like I said, I'm definitely gonna end stream early today anyway, but let me check if I should end stream now. Give me 1 second. Okay, I am back. Minorikawa is both the solution and the source of our problems. True. Why? Why, Minorikawa? Like, seriously, I expected him to, like, have a lesser part in all of this after everything that happened, considering he got blown up in an explosion and stuff. But okay, sure, I guess. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end it here for today. Like I said, I've been awake since 3 in the morning, and like I was so close to falling asleep right before the stream. The only thing that got me through it was watching an episode of Hajime no Ippo. I was like, I need something hype to watch, but I am fading. I am fading, and I want to make sure that I can get through this story with clarity. So tomorrow I will be back with a stream. I will be starting NeoCab, and that'll be earlier in the day. Actually, that'll be at a different time than usual. I think around 2:30, 3 p.m. Mountain Time. So we'll see. I never stream at that time. I literally never stream then. So we'll see how that goes. And then on Thursday, we'll be back with some more of this game. And then Saturday, some more NeoCab. So Ippo for sure is hype. Yes, indeed. Get your rest. Thank you, Chu. Thank you. Speaking of, I need to finish the manga. The manga is... well, I don't know where you're at. I don't want to accidentally spoil you. The manga is... sure is the manga. It sure is happening. It's not done yet, but I hope interesting things happen soon. Yeah, all that said, I'm playing NeoCab because it's supposed to be a pretty short game, and on the 9th, I think, on March 9th, like 2-3 games that I really want to play will be coming out. One of which I definitely want to play on release. So we're just gonna have to fit the schedule around that and make sure that I finish one of these games in time. So I'm on chapter 1400, 1444 to be specific. I totally know exactly what chapter you're talking about, and I don't. I definitely don't. I absolutely do not. But you're pretty far in, yeah. Well, I'm hoping Ippo decides to, you know, maybe do something, do something cool soon. That would be nice and neat and awesome. Not like it hasn't been 7 years, anyway. Anyway, let me go ahead and end the stream. Yeah, I was hoping he decides to do it soon. Yeah. Yes. Oh yeah, raiding. Let's look for somebody to raid. I don't know. Other people stream. Wow, amazing. Inspirational. Oh no way. Juicy is online. This never happens, ever. She is usually online before me. So let's go say hi. She's playing Elden Ring. And then I'm probably gonna go crash. So thank you so much for showing up to today's stream, everyone. I really appreciate it. Be well. Be well, eat something nice, all that good stuff. And yeah, I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.